Going to Universal soon?
If so, avoid these mistakes during your Universal trip. Hey guys, it's Courtney and Seth here with another installment of
Unravel with the Jackson Travels.
And today we are going to be telling you the top mistakes that we see and have unfortunately participated in the past during our Universal trips, so you can learn from our mistakes, the mistakes of others, and avoid these mistakes during your Universal trip.
So the first mistake is booking your hotel and forgetting about it.
So what we mean by this is that most people, they may sit down with their family to plan out their entire trip, travel, hotels, tickets, everything like that. But we do want to stress that it is very important to go back, especially for your hotel, to review the prices of the hotel. So this is going to be specific to the Universal hotels. So all the time Universal is putting out new discounted rates for dates of travel. So especially when it's getting close to your dates of travel, you're going to want to go back to the booking website and look at those dates. You may find that there is a cheaper hotel, there is a cheaper room type at your current selected hotel. So that's always a good thing to remember to help you save some money for your overall trip.
So the next mistake is carrying around your merchandise.
Alright, so we have done this in the past, just when we didn't know any better, but of course now we do. This is going to be for anything that you buy inside of the park. Do not make the mistake of having to carry around your merchandise all day. We see people all the time in the parks doing this. You have two options. If you were staying at a Universal hotel, you can actually have your merchandise sent to your room. I will note that you cannot do that the day of checkout or the day before checkout, just because they want to give themselves at least 24 hours to get it to you. But however, on those days, if we buy anything like our last day or the day before, we get it sent to the park exit. Used to be the two stores that were at the exit turnstiles of Studios and Islands of Adventure, but now they actually send it to the Universal Studios store in City Walk, so you can pick it up same day. After a certain time, I think like 3 p.m., they won't do that any longer, so kind of plan that out if you're wanting to buy something. But please, you have two really good options. Do not carry around all that merchandise all day. Otherwise, you'll have to buy a locker when you ride attractions. So much easier to just have it sent and have it waiting for you. So the next mistake to avoid is standing in line for food.
All right, so we're mainly talking about the quick service locations in which you should try to do a mobile order if possible. So in the past, we will see like really long lines, especially at like Fast Food Boulevard during peak lunchtime.
Yeah.
And we can make our mobile order, pass every single person, go right up to the mobile order stand and
Pick up our food.
Go to our food, and it doesn't take that long. So for places like Lombard's or Finnegan's, you can make a reservation in which you won't have to wait like everybody else.
So if you guys are wondering how to mobile order or how to make a reservation, we do have two separate how-to videos, and we explain both of those processes to you, so be sure to check those videos out after this one.
So the next mistake is to avoid holding up the entry lines.
So we see this all the time. A lot of the times people will get up to the ticket scanning kiosk to get into Islands of Adventure or to Universal Studios, and they won't have their tickets. The other adults in their party don't have their tickets, like maybe one person's holding them. They have to distribute those. Also, a lot of the times, this is definitely a real thing for me, even every time we go. Sometimes the fingerprint scanning system doesn't work, especially if you've been to Universal before and it tries to read it and it doesn't recognize it from times past. It can be a little bit of a lengthy process, especially if you have acrylic nails like me. Sometimes it just doesn't like that. So I always have my ID handy to make the process just move right along. If you have your ID, they can actually just let you walk on through and avoid the finger scanning process. They will want you to do it, try it, so you can't just omit it altogether. But just be prepared for these things so you aren't holding up everyone in line behind you, and you can start your day.
So the next mistake is bringing in large bags.
So of course, I know some of you probably have things you have to bring into the park with you, and that may require a larger bag. But if you can, you're going to want to stick to as small of a bag as possible, just for a few reasons. So one of those reasons are the free lockers at the Universal attractions. So these lockers are only 5 inches tall, 16 inches deep, and about 14 inches wide. So you're going to really want to shop around and make sure that your selected bag is going to fit into those lockers. So Seth and I did exactly this. We shopped around for our park bags and made sure that they would fit in every attraction locker. But also the smaller bags and everything, if you bring those, you know that you're not going to have somebody to wait and hold your bags while you go on the attraction, and you know you're not going to have to spend that extra fees for either a all-day large locker rental, or I know some of the attractions have the larger lockers, again, for purchase. So you're just going to want to avoid that altogether and bring in the smaller bags if you can. Also, if you do have multiple bags and you know not everything can fit in one locker, something that Seth and I do a lot of the times is I will just give him my annual pass. This will be your park ticket if you don't have an annual pass, and he will just rent 2 lockers. So that's a really easy fix for that. You can have more than one locker if you need it. So again, bring small bags.
So the next mistake to avoid is buying ponchos.
Alright guys, so Universal is pretty smart. This is kind of a running joke. If you want to know if it's going to be raining in Orlando, just walk into one of the Universal shops. If you see ponchos sitting at the cash register for sale, then you know either it's raining or it's going to be raining very soon. But these, of course, are a little bit overpriced. They are theme park priced, so you're either going to want to bring your own ponchos if you like ponchos. Personally, we don't. We think they are way too hot and sticky, especially in Orlando in the summer. But Seth and I bring the collapsible umbrellas. We put them in Seth's park bag. I did shop around and try to find the smallest ones that I could. This is a much more useful solution, and you're not necessarily having to buy a poncho that's going to rip. You have your own umbrella. You're not going to be hot and sticky all the time, and you are prepared. You're not spending that extra money on Universal's ponchos. So avoid having to buy it in the park. Either bring your own poncho or bring your own umbrella.
The next mistake to avoid is waiting to buy express passes.
So you may hear a mixed opinion on this, but for Seth and I, this is just basically going off of our own research that we do every time we're going to be visiting Universal. What we have found is that the price of express passes are going to go up the less Universal has to sell. So basically that demand is going to really control the price that Universal sets. So if you wait to see how the crowds are during your trip and they are high, unfortunately, that means that the price for the express passes are going to be high. But again, you're kind of running that risk. So what we recommend to do is to kind of do your research beforehand. There are several crowd calendars out there online. Nothing specific from Universal, but a lot of websites do their own research of crowd calendars. So do a little bit of research before, compare to see maybe what the hotel prices are looking like that day. You can also look up the express pass prices before your trip and kind of gauge it that way. Do the research before, so you're not kind of taking that gamble once you get into the park.
So the last mistake is dressing for style and not for comfort.
Alright, so this of course is going to be a personal preference. Luckily, Seth and I have not made this mistake in the past, but we have definitely seen the aftermath of it, just, you know, people watching in the park. You're not really going to want to wear anything too uncomfortable or complicated. Just because you're going to be walking a lot of steps and miles at Universal and Islands of Adventure if you're really wanting to do everything. So you really want to wear something that's going to be nice to wear on your feet, especially if you have multiple days. So I would definitely steer away from anything like sandals or flip-flops, anything that's going to give you blisters or rub your feet the wrong way. Also, we have seen way too many times people on these roller coasters or things like that who are wearing dresses or maybe tank tops or something like that. Just know that you're going to be going very fast on some of these attractions, so you definitely don't want anything to malfunction or have a wardrobe malfunction. So kind of just keep that in mind. You definitely want to dress for the weather as well, so you're going to be in the hot Florida sun, but just kind of keep that in mind and really dress comfortably, or your trip is not going to be as fun as you planned.
And also I want to mention that if you wear prescription glasses or sunglasses, it may be a good idea to get a strap to wear those when you're on a ride, because they could fall off, and sometimes team members even ask you to remove them, but I think it's a good idea to probably have a strap.
And Seth is correct, because if you lose those glasses, if you lose those expensive prescription glasses on the coasters, team members cannot attempt, so no guarantee that they can retrieve them, but they will not even attempt to retrieve them until after park close. Alright guys, so we hope you enjoyed these mistakes to avoid during your Universal trip. Please learn from our mistakes and the mistakes of others, and we promise that it will make your Universal trip 10 times better. Comment, let us know what mistakes you have made during your Universal trips in the past, and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more Universal content coming soon. So until next time, we hope to see you on the next adventure. Bye.